We are now less than 24 hours. Actually, we're 23 hours away
Wow.
from Election Day here in North Carolina. But if you're headed to polls in South Carolina tomorrow, there are a few rules you need to know before you go.
So WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards live this morning. And Destiny, there's one major difference compared to North Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of the rules are the same between North and South Carolina, but the one rule that is different for South Carolina voters, you cannot wear any political attire when you head to the polls. Otherwise, everything is pretty much the same. You can only vote at your assigned polling place in your precinct, and you need to bring a photo ID. You can find your polling place on scvotes.gov or by checking with your county voter registration office. A photo ID is required to vote, like a South Carolina driver's license or U.S. passport, but if you don't have one, you can get a free ID card to use on Election Day. Just go to your county voter registration and elections office or the DMV. State election officials encourage you to listen to poll workers at your polling place and follow the rules to make voting a smooth experience for everyone.
The poll clerk is kind of the head of each polling place. This is going to be a very busy day. It's going to be a day where you will be standing in line for a significant amount of time. So having patience with those poll workers, having patience with other voters in line as you're there and waiting.
Polls open at 7 a.m. sharp here in South Carolina, and they will close at 7 p.m. Anyone still in line at 7 p.m. can stay in line, as they will still be allowed to vote. Live in Rock Hill, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
All right, Destiny, thanks. Now back up here in North Carolina in the presidential race, and the pivotal role that Mecklenburg County could end up playing in this year's campaign. All you have to do is look back to the fact that both the vice president and her running mate, Tim Walz, were here in the Charlotte area over the weekend. But to tell the story, what we have to do actually is not rely on these numbers, because frankly, they're not in yet, but actually go back 4 years ago. And to remind you, Donald Trump won this state by a little more than a percentage point. It was his narrowest victory in the entire country. It's about 74,000 out of 5.5 million. I mean, that's a tiny percentage there. And once you take a closer look to Charlotte, you get a little bit better picture about what that meant. Joe Biden, no surprise, won Charlotte with almost 67% of the vote. But Democrats, quite honestly, were disappointed with the Democratic turnout here in Charlotte in that election. A lot of other parts of the state did much better. Take, for example, Orange County. Joe Biden, 75%. Right next door in Durham County, 81% of the vote. Of course, these tend to be liberal strongholds, the cities that make up the state of North Carolina. But the Harris campaign and Democrats are hoping that if she can run up the numbers here in Charlotte, where, by the way, there are more Democrats that live in Mecklenburg County than in any other county in the state of North Carolina. So the Harris campaign is hoping if they can pull these numbers up, get this higher up, that it can win her the entire state of North Carolina, just because the population density here in Charlotte. Of course, we know over the weekend, Donald Trump was in Union County. He easily won that. Actually, J.D. Vance was in Union County. Donald Trump easily won that last go around. And he was also in Gaston County. He easily won that last go around as well. But here in Charlotte, there's such a treasure trove density of voters. Harris campaign's hoping that might make a difference and pull it out of the win, considering how close this race was just 4 years ago between Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump. Sarah.
All right, Ben, thank you. And if you don't already know your polling location or have other Election Day questions, we're making it very easy for you to get all those answers you need. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen or text the word election to 704-329-3600 to get our complete election guide. And remember, WCNC Charlotte is the place for everything you need to know before and after you cast your vote. Tune in tomorrow from 4 to 6:30 right here on WCNC, and then starting at 7 on WCNC Plus, we'll be streaming hours of live coverage of local and statewide races. Just search for WCNC Plus on your Apple TV, Fire TV, or Roku device. Of course, we'll have all the coverage for you as well on our morning broadcast, 4:30 to 7 a.m. before the Today Show.
Meantime, few things determine voter turnout more than weather.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm really disappointed because things kind of changed on us. Before it was looking like a dry forecast. Now it's looking like pretty much from 7 to 7 there's going to be some chance of rain across our area. And each new model update does show this. So you're having at least, I would say, a 20 to even a 60% coverage anytime between that 12-hour frame from when the polls open to the time the polls close. But I'm going to give you a closer look. Here, let's start the clock tomorrow right at 7 o'clock. This is what it's likely looking like. Already seeing an overcast sky. You have a little bit of fog out and about. The sun will already be up at this point, but it will still kind of look gray and dreary. As we work our way through the morning, you're just seeing on and off of this type of activity. Each model is starting to really agree on this forecast. I still think the further east and southeast you go, it will remain a little bit drier, but we kind of have like a conveyor belt that it's the same area, and that line kind of sways back and forth that we see that rain push through. We will hit some drier slots as we work our way into the evening, of course, drying out after the polls close. But please, please, please don't let this deter you. I think that if you have just a umbrella, rain jacket, you're going to be just fine. It's not going to rain at all hours of the day. Some areas will see rain longer, but other areas will start to see drier forecasts and even a sunnier forecast by the middle to late afternoon hours. So happy voting, everyone. Sadly, we are transitioning over a little bit more rain than what we would like to see. But again, I'm going to say it one more time, don't let this deter you, even though historically it usually does.
Yeah. We had record early voting turnout, which is good, too.
That's
Hopefully
good, yeah.
that's a sign of things to come, right? All right, folks, get out, vote tomorrow morning, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of WCNC Charlotte To Go.